Hello, partners. If you're old enough to remember actress Hedy Lamarr, you remember that she was one of the most beautiful women to ever appear on the silver screen. She was born in Austria. Her birth name was Hedwig Eva Maria Kiesler. Hedwig Eva Maria Kiesler. No wonder everyone started calling her Hedy. Well, Hedy was born in 1914. She had a short film career in Czechoslovakia. In one of her films, she was photographed wearing only the water of a lake as her bathing suit. In spite of that, no one looked down on her, largely because she looked so stunning. But fate would intervene and Hedy's life took a drastic turn. When it became obvious that the Nazis under Adolf Hitler had in their mind set on conquering all of Europe, Hedy left her husband and settled in Paris. Shortly after arriving in the French capital, she made a quick additional move to London. Now, whom do you suppose she ran into in London? None other than the powerful head of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios, Louis B. Mayer. She was surprised to learn that Mayer had seen the controversial movie in which she appeared without a stitch of clothing. Mayer offered her a contract right there, right on the spot. Now that chance meeting with Mayer made Hedy Lamarr one of the biggest stars of the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. At 95, I remember, in her first movie, she made a dramatic entry. The movie was called White Cargo. The major star was Richard Carlson. You might remember him from the 1950s TV series in which he played Herbert Philbrick, a spy for the FBI who infiltrated the Communist Party. The series was called I Led 3 Lives. Anyway, in one scene, Richard Carlson is standing in a hut somewhere in the South Pacific. He hears a noise. He turns and says, who's there? Suddenly, a shadowy figure appears in the doorway. Is it a man or a woman? The suspense builds. Then the camera focuses on the face of the intruder. But the face is still in the dark. As Hedy Lamarr slowly moves forward, her face enters a shaft of light. Her beautiful face fills the screen. She speaks, I am Tandaleo. Hedy Lamarr became known as a beautiful, exotic-looking woman. So, Jimmy, where's all this going? Hedy Lamarr was beautiful? Oh, yes, she was, indeed. But what does that prove? Well, what does that prove? I'm glad you asked that. You see, most people assume that just because Hedy Lamarr was incredibly beautiful, she could not be very smart. But partners, the exact opposite was the real truth. Hedy Lamarr was also an inventor, developing one of the most important radio components used in the Second World War. I'm telling you, this is right. Hedy Lamarr's invention helped the Allies to go on to victory. And here's how it happened. Hedy Lamarr had no formal training in electronics, yet over the years, when she was not involved in movie making, she read everything she could about radio and electronics. She perfected the way traffic lights work and invented a way to dissolve some medicines into capsules, which made the manufacture of Alka-Seltzer possible. I know you're saying, what the thunder is going on? But wait, her most important invention had to do with wartime communications. Hedy Lamarr came up with an idea of sending radio signals on different frequencies changing the frequency every second or so. Using her technique of changing these radio signals made it impossible for the enemy to listen in on the transmissions. Yes, partners, this beautiful actress's invention was used by the military until the 1970s. There's a very sad ending to the story of lovely actress Hedy Lamarr. In her later years, she moved to South Florida and hid from the public. You see, she became increasingly concerned that her classic looks were leaving her. Oh, bless her heart. She had dozens of plastic surgery operations, and this left her so disfigured she never left her home, spending sometimes 9 hours a day on the telephone with friends. On the 19th of January 2000, classic actress Hedy Lamarr died. She left a legacy not just of motion pictures, but of some wonderful inventions done anonymously. It's not known how many GIs owe their lives to her radio inventions used in wartime. Who would have thought that the Austrian-born actress Hedy Lamarr, who became a U.S. citizen in 1953, was such a complicated, patriotic woman? And who would have guessed that she would meet such a tragic end? Okay, partners, you know the drill. Look for those 3 little X's up there on the right. One on the farthest side has the little red X in it. Click on that red X and you'll return right to my report page and read the rest of what the report is for this week. Hedy Lamarr. Yeah, I'm an old man, almost 95, and I remember this beautiful, beautiful young lady from Czechoslovakia, Hedy Lamarr. Okay, Dennis, thank you for bringing us another great name, Hedy Lamarr. This will mean nothing to most of those listening to us, but then they can go look back in history and find out who Hedy Lamarr was. I love each of you so much. Dexter, as I call Dennis Daly, my researcher and writer, thank you. Keep looking up special people in the past, because it makes our country, America, so great just come to life. I love you. Go get 'em, Tigers!